guys, coming at you with another review. I'm Jay Grider, and I'm here to tell you about the 2013 C350, and I'm ready to tell you about it. If you haven't already, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button, and if you like my videos a lot, make sure to turn on those post notifications. Here we go, let's get jumping into the review. So as I've done before, I've stuck with going from the front and towards the back, and I'll keep that tradition. And I'll start out with the headlights, and I think these headlights just complement the car very well because it just makes it look more aggressive, and it gives it that Mercedes look that everybody knows. It also has fully functional intake right here. This is not fake. It has intercoolers up in there. You can't see them right now, but they are fully functional. Now I'm going to move into the engine bay, and I'm going to tell you guys more about the engine, what kind of power it makes, and how much gas mileage it gets. I think you guys are going to be really surprised about what kind of gas mileage this gets for what the kind of engine it is. Now I'm going to tell you about the engine. This car does come with a 3.5 liter V6, putting about 302 horsepower down and about 273 foot-pounds of torque, which you wouldn't know about this car because it doesn't look like it's going to be going super fast, but when you put the pedal to the metal, you know you're moving. This car comes standard with 17-inch rims in the front and back, but in the back they're just a little bit wider to give you that aggressive stance, and it doesn't break loose in the back as much as it would if you had smaller tires. It is a rear-wheel drive, so having that wide stance just gives it more grip and more of a chance to get down the line without slipping. Next, I'm actually going to show you guys inside of the engine bay, and I'm going to tell you guys about the gas miles that it gets and just show you a little bit around the engine. I won't go too far into detail because I know that gets boring sometimes for some people. You wouldn't know it unless you were a Mercedes owner or if you've been in Mercedes before and somebody's popped the hood. But you have to go underneath the dash a little bit, and there's a little lever right down here that you pull down, and as you heard it right there, the hood just popped open. So I'll hop over there and I'll show you guys a little bit about the engine. There is a lever on the left side, I believe. Yes, on the left side, and you push that to the left, and then it raises up with these awesome suspension tools, so you don't have to mess around with a rod or anything like that, which makes it super simple and super easy to use. Now, Mercedes doesn't allow you to see a lot of the engine itself, and I think they're smart by doing that because they want you doing smart things and not trying to modify the engine by yourself. Here it is, a 3.5 liter V6. You have your battery up in this area, and you have your windshield wiper fluid and your brake fluid up there. Now, if you want to, you can remove this right here, but you really don't want to. It's kind of a pain to put back, but it is a very nice engine. And with this engine, you're going to be getting about 20 in the city and 28 on the highway, which is pretty good for a 3.5 liter V6. If you like more horsepower and you are willing to pay the extra buck, this is the way to go. I mean, I love German cars. I have a bias for German cars. I drive a German car. I love the way they're built. It is sturdy, it's smooth, it hugs corners. And I'll tell you more about this car right now. I'm gonna hop into the actual interior, and I'm gonna tell you about the features that it comes with and all that good stuff. As you can see, this car does not lack any bolstering. You are not gonna go anywhere around those tight corners, and I'll demonstrate that for you guys. I'll go ahead and sit down and I'll show you. I literally go nowhere, and I'm not that big of a guy, so having that amount of cushion when you're going around corners, it gives you that peace of mind that you need to know you are not gonna go flying anywhere when you're going around corners. And I'll tell you guys more about the interior when I get you guys in here. First off, I just want to tell you guys I love this steering wheel, and before I keep rambling on, I'm just going to show you. This car does also have fully functional seats, so you can change all of your different little functions you want to right here on the door, which I think is really cool because you don't have to reach down and like be awkward on down here, you know, like a lot of cars do that. And if I move over here, you guys see that this has a beautiful steering wheel that is leather stitched, and behind it you see these 7-speed paddle shifters, which is really, really cool, and it makes it a more one-on-one driving experience with the driver in the car. And my favorite part about this car is the gauge cluster, and I know I say that this is my favorite part about every car, but I mean, this is just simple, unique, and it just tells you, hey, you're in a Mercedes, be careful with me. And if you move over here, you do see that you have a little screen that you have, and you can change things down here on the column up here if you want to, left and right on the column. And this car does have AC, obviously, and you can change your different climates on either side, which is really cool. For 2013, if you're changing your climate on either side, I think that's really cool. For back in that time, having that, I think you felt like you were the bomb. And I mean, it's still a really cool feature. It has standard radio, obviously, and it has heated seats, as you can see here. And it has an eco mode that when you turn the car on, automatically is on. So you can turn that off if you want, but you get the best gas mileage with it on, and I think that's a really, really cool feature. Now, if you come here, this is a two-part little compartment, and it flips open on both sides, which is really cool, and you can store all you want down here. And it's not that big, but if you have a cell phone or anything you want to put down there, you can. Now this car does also, I'll come over here and show you, this car does also have a Harman Kardon sound system. So you're not going to be lacking in any of the luxuries of a luxury vehicle. You have the power, you have the sound, and you have also this beautiful thing up here called a sunroof, which does go back, and I'll show you how that works right now. You just hold this right here, and you pull it down. And that right there is your sunshade. So if you don't want to be baking in the sun all day, that goes right back. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that back where it was. It's pretty quick. It's not too speedy, but it is pretty quick for a coupe. Now if you keep holding it, and you go push back, you see that the sunroof pulls all the way back. That's a really cool feature on a hot day. I mean, you just want to roll that back and let the air come in. It's a really cool feature. Now for a 2013 car, you would be surprised, this car does come with Bluetooth. And that's a really awesome feature because you can be hands-free and talking to somebody on the phone while you're driving. This car does also have automatic headlights, so you don't have to mess around with anything when you get in the car. It just does it for you. And that's just, it's pristine in every possible way that you can think of. Just look at these seats. They are just luxurious and leather coated. I mean, you couldn't ask for more in a luxury vehicle like this. If I forgot to mention earlier in the video, this car does have 4 total seats. Now, they are kind of small in the back, but they do work and they are functional. If you are taller than 6 feet, it may be a little cramped and you aren't going to be able to fit your head. But I am not that tall, I'm about 5'7", and it fits me perfectly. And I'll show you guys how those seats work right now. Now, walking up to the car, there's a chrome lever right here on the seat that you push forward, and the car will automatically push the seat forward. Now, it does it rather quickly, and all you have to do as a passenger is just slide in and pull back, and the seat will do the work for you. Now that I'm back in the back seats, you can tell that I have tons of room for a 5'7" guy. Now, if you were over 6 feet, this car is going to be kind of cramped. And as you can see, these seats are not lacking any of the luxuries that you get up front. And I mean, as a passenger, that just, it makes it all for you. And also as a passenger, if you want to put your drink somewhere and you're in a coupe, you're like, uh-oh, what do I do? I can't really put it up front because the people up front already, you know, put their stuff up front. Well, you know, Mercedes thought of that, and they have cup holders right here for you. And you can hide them away if you want to. I don't really see the reason for hiding them away because, you know, if you want to have drinks, you want to put them there. But you, yeah, you have a lot of room back here from your passenger because there's a center console right here. It doesn't pop out, but it does provide space in between you and the other passenger, which I like a lot. Here in the back, you do also have your own AC vents, which is beautiful because on a hot day, this car does heat up because of the panoramic sunroof. And it's just, it cools down the passengers, and it doesn't lack, like I said again, it doesn't lack any of the luxuries that are up front. This car does also have a decent sized trunk, and it can fit about 2 sets of golf clubs and a ton of groceries. It also has these 2 buttons right here that pull down the back seats if you want. And you can push down the back seats and have more space for anything you want to put in. I'm going to tell you guys about my favorite part about this car, and it's the exhaust. This exhaust just, it makes this car, it livens this car up because it has that 3.5 liter V6, but you know, there are companies that like to quiet it down because they don't want to disturb others. Mercedes doesn't care about that. They want you to know that you are in a high-class luxury vehicle, and it is me. Alright guys, that about wraps it up for the 2013 C350, but before I go, I'm going to take you guys on a little drive, and I'm going to tell you guys one-on-one about what this car feels like when you're driving. Here we are in the car. I'm putting my seatbelt on right now, safety first. I won't go too fast in this car because I want to be respectful to the owner, and I want to be as careful as I can with this car. For any of my videos that I do, I don't go fast. All I really do is I just do an intro with it, and I may just drive it around just a little bit, but not that much because I don't want to injure a car. So here we go, I'm in drive. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out here. I'm gonna give it a little bit of gas. Okay. Quick throttle response. I'm gonna go ahead and say that right now. You wanna be very careful with the throttle. Around town, this car, you wouldn't know that this is a fast car until you actually put the gas to the floor, which I didn't do. I put it about halfway down the throttle. All right, I'm gonna give it some gas uphill and see how it does. Very good response, I would give it that. And it has a very smooth ride as well. And I like that a lot about the car. Now, if you're worried about speed bumps or anything like that, you don't have to worry about that in this car. If the speed bump is really high, I would recommend doing the J type turn because you don't want to bottom out. But other than that, this car is just a beast and it rides smooth. Steering is pristine. You don't really have to worry about yanking on the steering wheel or anything. It is very smooth. That's pretty much all I can say about this. Is it's just a smooth ride, and I love this car. It's simple and it does what it's supposed to do, and I like that a lot about it. This car does also come with a reverse camera, which comes in very handy when you need it. Here we go with the speed bump. Not aggressive with the speed bump. You know, you want to take it nice and slow. You are in a luxury car. So here we are making a left turn. Super simple, super easy to drive. I love this car. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time.